1981, the year R&B soul found its groove again. From smoky slow jams to dance floor fire, this was the sound of love, rhythm, and pure emotion. These aren't just songs, they're the heartbeat of an era. Let's rewind to the magic. Here are 15 R&B soul songs from 1981 you need to hear. I still remember the first time I heard Master Blaster jamming on the radio. It was the summer of 1981 and everything about that record felt alive. The drums, the keys, the horn stabs that danced around Stevie's voice.
It's a turn in July, though the world's full of fire.
There was this energy in the air, a mix of hope and unity that you couldn't fake. Stevie Wonder wasn't just singing a song, he was giving us a message. You could feel it, the spirit of Bob Marley, the optimism of a new decade, the belief that music could still bring people together.
Marley's heart's on the box tonight.
This wasn't just a groove, it was a celebration of peace and rhythm. Back then, we didn't scroll through playlists, we gathered around the radio, and when Master Blaster came on, you didn't skip it.
I bet you nobody ever told you that you would be jamming until the break.
You turned it up, because Stevie made you believe that even in hard times, there was still joy worth dancing for.
Just the two of us, building castles.
Then came Just the Two of Us. Man, if you were in love or even thought you might be, this was your song. That opening electric piano felt like warm light pouring through your window in the morning.
All that is, and it don't make no flowers grow.
Bill Withers' voice floated over Grover Washington Jr.'s saxophone like silk over glass. It wasn't flashy or loud, it was mature, grown-up music for people who'd seen life, who knew that real love isn't about fireworks, it's about showing up every day.
Just the two of us, we can make it if we try.
Back then, couples slow danced to this one in living rooms, records spinning on cheap turntables that somehow made everything sound warmer.
Just the two of us, building them castles in the sky.
It's funny, decades later, this song still plays at weddings and cafes and quiet moments when two people just get each other. That's the mark of timeless soul. Now, here's one that doesn't get talked about enough, Sukiyaki by A Taste of Honey. They were best known for their disco hit, Boogie Oogie Oogie, but in 1981, they flipped the script completely. Sukiyaki was soft, sad, and hauntingly beautiful, a Japanese melody reimagined through an R&B lens. I remember the first time I heard it, it didn't sound like anything else on the air. The harmonies felt like they were floating in another world. The lyrics spoke of heartbreak, but the delivery made it sound peaceful, almost forgiving. This was the kind of song that made you stop what you were doing. Maybe you'd be washing dishes or driving home and just listen. It showed how R&B could stretch across borders, cultures, and languages and still touch something deep inside you.
An old-fashioned times have changed from yesterday.
Ray Parker Jr. was already one of the slickest men in music long before Ghostbusters. But with The Woman Needs Love, Just Like You Do, he gave us something honest, a grown man confession set to a silky groove.
So when you think you're fooling her, she just might be fooling you.
This song was different. It wasn't about bragging or heartbreak. It was about understanding, about realizing that love is a two-way street. that women feel, hurt, and crave affection just like men do.
Hey, don't get yourself into thinking that she don't.
For a lot of folks back then, that message hit home. It was bold, real talk set to rhythm, and that's what made radio special. They could make you dance, but they could also make you think.
Unless you give her all the love and she.
Listening to that song now, it still feels ahead of its time. A mix of truth, tenderness, and groove. That's classic R&B at its best. And finally, we hit Heartbeat by Tana Gardner. If you ever stepped into a club in the early 80s, in New York, Chicago, or even down in Atlanta, you heard this track shaking the floor. It starts simple, a drum loop, a bass line that seems to move through your chest, and Tana's voice floating above it all. That beat, hypnotic, steady, irresistible, became one of the most sampled sounds in hip-hop and dance music for decades after. But what made Heartbeat special wasn't just the groove, it was the feeling. It was raw, minimal, and real. It didn't try to impress, it just made you move. You could feel the pulse of the city in that song. Late nights, flashing lights, people chasing freedom through music. And even today, producers still chase that same feeling, trying to recreate what Tana and her crew captured in that one timeless rhythm. I remember the first time It's a Love Thing came on the radio. It was the kind of track that made you smile without realizing it. The bass line just grooves under your skin and the harmonies. Flawless. The whispers had this way of making everything feel effortless, like they were inviting you into their living room for a late night jam session. It's a love thing. I feel that pounding in my... Back then, you'd hear this in roller rinks, in small clubs, or even at house parties. Everyone moved to it differently. Some slow dancing, some just swaying with a drink in hand. I feel that pounding in my heart when you call my name. Smiling at the friends around them. It was feel-good energy distilled into music. You didn't need to understand every lyric. The song just made you happy. That's the kind of soul that sticks with you. I love you more than you know. Then there was I Love You More by Renee and Angela. This one hit different. It had a shimmer to it, like sunlight hitting water. You take my mind inside and out, I can't hide. Their voices blended in this sophisticated way, elegant but not pretentious. One of a kind, there's no doubt, I can't fight it. I remember sitting in my room, record spinning on the turntable, feeling like the song knew exactly what love felt like. Not the over-the-top movie musical kind, but real, steady, honest love. Don't you know I love you more than you know. It was romantic, yes, but also classy. You could hear every emotion in the phrasing, in the pauses, in the harmonies. Songs like this didn't just fill the air, they filled your heart. And and then, of course, Endless Love. Man, what a song. If you were alive in 1981, you knew this duet. Your eyes, they tell me how. Dianaross and Lionel Richie weren't just singing. They were telling a story that felt bigger than life itself. My love, endless love. I remember hearing it on a Saturday night show, and suddenly it was like the world slowed down.
As one, two hearts that
Couples would stop in the middle of a dance floor, strangers would hold hands, and everyone just listened. The chemistry between their voices made the lyrics feel like a confession. A promise. It was tender, cinematic, timeless. That song wasn't just a hit, it was an experience.
They do. I don't care about anything.
Smokey Robinson had this way of turning words into velvet.
Be out of the picture and off of the screen.
Being With You is one of those tracks that grabs you by the heart from the first note.
I don't care what they think about me.
I remember leaning against the counter in a corner store, listening to the record spinning, feeling the warmth of his falsetto. It was intimate, almost like he was whispering directly to you.
I don't care if they start to avoid me. I don't care what.
Even with all the noise of the city outside, his voice could cut through and make you stop. That's the power of Smokey Robinson. He didn't just sing, he made you feel every line. And then the party kicks back into high gear with Let's Groove by Earth, Wind, and Fire. That synth bass line, legendary. Even before the words kicked in, the track was already pulling you onto the dance floor.
right, just move yourself and glide.
I remember the first time I heard it on a Saturday night radio show. You could feel the energy crackling through the speakers. Disco was fading, but funk and R&B were stepping up, and this song was the perfect bridge. Everyone around me, friends and strangers alike, couldn't help but move. It was celebratory, joyful, a moment of pure communal fun captured in sound. Let's Groove wasn't just a song, it was an invitation. And when you accepted, you were part of something bigger than yourself. The sound of a generation dancing together, lost in the rhythm, if only for 3.5 minutes. I still remember the first slow dance I had to How About Us. It was quiet in the living room, the record spinning on a turntable that had seen better days, but the moment felt perfect.
Hold it together, all kind of weather.
Champagne had this way of making love sound so simple, so real. No shouting, no over-the-top drama, just honesty.
Now don't you get me wrong.
The melody was gentle, almost fragile, yet it carried so much emotion. Every note, every pause made you feel like the singer was telling a personal story, maybe even yours.
Too many lovers that dream. We want their hearts.
People didn't just play this on the radio, couples held hands to it, teenagers swayed in bedrooms, hearts beating together. That's the power of a great love ballad. It lasts in memory, and How About Us does just that.
When I make my move to her room, it's the right time. She's left.
Then came Super Freak. I'll never forget walking past a record store when the bass line hit.
She's pretty wild now. Girl's a super freak. The kind of girl you read about.
It was like an electric shock straight into your chest. Wild, confident, unapologetic, Rick James was a force of nature.
Everybody sang. Super freak, super freak. She's a very special.
You could hear it in the way the horns punched, in the way his voice laughed through the lyrics. It was funky, sexy, a little dangerous.
Backstage with her girlfriends. a limousine.
Clubs exploded when this came on. Everyone wanted to move, even if you weren't sure how. Super Freak wasn't just a song, it was a statement. Bold, outrageous, unforgettable, and you couldn't help but love it.
Coming home intoxicated.
Just when you thought Rick James couldn't give you more, Give It To Me Baby hit. This one was pure dance floor fire.
Guess that's why I'm so elated. Come on, girl, give it to me, baby. Give it to me.
Every beat demanded your attention. Every rhythm made your body move without thinking.
Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. Just give it to me.
I remember crowded clubs and house parties. People didn't talk, they didn't stand still. The energy was contagious. You could feel Rick's charisma spilling out of the speakers, daring you to match it. It was one of those tracks that defined a scene. The music wasn't background, it was life itself. Evelyn, Champagne. King had already made her mark, but I'm in Love took things to another level. Her voice was powerful, commanding, and smooth all at once. The synths glided under her vocals, giving the song a modern, futuristic edge for the time. I remember driving home one night, the streetlights flickering past, windows down, music blasting. That song didn't just play, it hit. It made your heart race and your feet move, all at the same time. Evelyn could make you feel joy, excitement, and romance in one breath. That's why it still feels alive today.
The top of my list, 'cause I'm always thinking of you. I still remember in the.
And finally, number one, Never Too Much by Luther Vandross. If 1981 had a single defining R&B soul moment, this was it.
My daydreaming, planning how to say I love you. You must have known that I'd be.
Luther's voice was a revelation, smooth, warm, and filled with joy that you could feel deep inside. I remember hearing this at a friend's house, and no one could stop smiling. The groove was infectious, the lyrics heartfelt, the energy uplifting. It wasn't just a song, it was a declaration of love, of happiness, of life itself. Luther Vandross had arrived, and the world listened. Never Too Much wasn't just a debut single, it was the start of a legend. Every time it plays now, it carries the same magic, the same warmth, and the same joy that made people fall in love with R&B all over again in 1981. The journey doesn't end here. R&B soul lovers, watch this next.